Good evening, everybody. This is Mike from Faraday Research. It is Free Energy Friday. Welcome to the show. It is Friday night. It is September 20th, 2024. Welcome to the show. As usual, we have Philip on from Montreal. We have Lulu on from Texas. And we have Ben from Michigan, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Yep. So here we are, Free Energy Friday. I hope everybody had a great week. Everybody had a great week.
Yeah, and you are from Toronto. You forgot to
Good
say.
week.
Oh yeah, outside of Toronto. I'm outside of a Torontonian. I'm in the suburbs.
So I've got some
uh,
exciting news regarding
awesome.
the rodent coil system I have. I got an oscilloscope finally, and I have a video
Yay.
to present as well as I'll be testing some other things out tonight for the first time.
Right on.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I got a really nice oscilloscope.
Nice.
Actually,
Very
one of
nice.
my followers bought a brand new one for me and sent it to me. It's like a
Hmm.
$300 oscilloscope. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Mine's just a little
yeah.
tiny one, but it doubles as a function generator. So
Yeah.
it's like a little
Yeah. Mine.
$40 one, but it's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, mine also has a function generator. It can also record screen capture.
Oh,
Sorry,
see, that's what I
uh,
need too, the screen
it's
capture.
got all that on, and it's also got the patch, so you can actually attach it to your computer and actually
Hmm.
get your graph
Oh,
right on
that's
your
yeah, you can hook it
screen
up
as
to Pretty
well.
Scope and all that.
Yeah, well, mine just is basically a USB connection, and it goes directly right onto the your PC, and you can get all your readings right up on the PC and save, do screen capture, and
That would be ideal for me. Get
yeah,
you all the data, the raw data
That's
too.
yeah, it's a nice machine. It can handle quite a bit of voltage, so you can go in the thousands of volts with it. You can't get like add-ons, so you can go into tens of thousands of volts. The
Hmm.
probe, yeah, live chat is open. So, yeah, if anybody has questions, comments, Mr. Mikey does is on the road right now, so he might join us later. And yeah, so yeah, Ben, what's happening with your setup? So you got a new function generator, right? And
Yes, and I'm
amplifier.
trying to yeah, I'm trying to well, I wanted to get a good look at the signal first of all, the waveform that's going on. Just because, multimeters, they're not so they can be tricky to read, and I want to see the actual waveform that's coming out. And I did a brief reading earlier, and I posted the video on Patreon for all my supporters. If you're not aware, I do post videos early for supporters. You can get early access to research
Yep.
videos and behind the scenes
Yeah,
stuff.
check out Ben's YouTube channel. Maybe Ben, you could put that in the live chat, so
Yeah,
anybody out there that hasn't seen your channel can get that link off you and join your channel and start following you.
awesome. Yeah, I'll put that in there right now, and then I'm gonna put up a video that I took earlier.
I'm hearing an echo. I don't know who it's coming from.
It's not
Hel-
me.
hello, hello. Is it coming from me?
No, you
No.
seem solid. It's coming from Ben. Yeah, it's coming from you, Ben. I don't know.
Give
When
me
you
1 second.
talk, you okay. That seems to be better. Whatever you did seemed to help. Yeah, maybe you just one of your volumes was too high on your audio. But yeah, so again with me, what's happened with me in the last week? We made some huge gains um, on the power cell. Things are trucking along really, really good. Got some very surprising results, actually almost scary. Uh, so I'm going to be building another prototype this weekend with a couple new components, and hopefully that will um, rectify some construction issues. It's not a matter of how the what's in the cell. It's how it's put together, the building method, and the most effective and most practical building method is very important in this. Okay, somebody has posted a movie. I don't know who's that from.
Oh, I just got the. I'm getting it ready,
Oh, okay.
preloading it.
Oh, okay. Just let me know when it's ready, and then I can add it to the stage.
Yeah. On my
Yeah,
end,
yeah.
yeah,
Anytime, since you're the presenter, anytime you know, you want to put it up there.
Phil, you wanted
uh,
to say something first?
yeah. Just me while he uploads the video, I just want to say that on my end, on my end, I don't have a lot to share this week, other than a experiment I'm gonna do tomorrow, which is based on which will get the frequency of an electric field. You can see the equations here. So I'm expecting to get 20, 80,230 hertz. So that's what I'm expecting to get using the device I ordered that should get tomorrow. It's below 100,000 hertz, so I need a special device for that. And yeah, so we'll see what I can get tomorrow. So that's gonna be interesting. If I'm spot on, man, I get I give myself the Nobel Prize. I'm gonna assign the Nobel Prize to myself.
Hmm,
So yeah,
that's
We'll
just
great.
definitely be commending you here.
Def-
We'll create our own Nobel Prize.
yeah, exactly. A Hall of Fame or
I'll
something like that.
sign you up, Phil. Don't worry.
Hey,
Awesome.
Gerald.
There you go.
Hey,
Hey,
Gerald.
everybody. How are you?
Look who came to crash the party, eh?
The it's the Winnipeg
Blue
what
Bombers.
the
Yeah,
what
it's another crazy Canuck is what it is.
Yeah.
it's the Canadian coil versus the American coil.
There you go. The Canadian coalition against the American coalition.
Yeah.
Kidding. We're just as much of a team with them as they are with us.
Yeah, that's right. We only got 2 Americans tonight. We got 3 Canadians.
That
What's up with
usually
that?
wrote number. Lulu's like, shut up. No, I'm kidding.
I don't see it like that. I see it more
No,
like,
I'm seriously kidding. I love you guys. Fuck, it's awesome the way everybody's coming together and learning. Blows my mind.
Oh, Gerald, if you knew what I'm working on right now, you would freak.
You know what?
We
I have a really good idea on what you're doing, and I don't want to burst your bubble or I'm staying away from it, man, because it's your right? I was working on something like that a while back, and I've got a whole bunch of stuff sitting in a box, and I started working on the crystal cell thing. I found something, and then I put it on pause, and your stuff exploded, and I know what you did, and I'm just staying away from it, man. Because when you perfect it, I'd much rather just buy yours.
Yeah.
I don't have time for the research.
Yeah, we'll talk offline. We have to talk offline because
I have a
Put it to you this way: my partner did a test earlier today.
Yeah.
He got a spike of 84 amps.
I know what. Never mind. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't be that confident or cocky. I apologize. Mike. Good freaking job, man. Hurry up and get that commercialized so I can buy batteries off you.
And we got the voltage up too. We got it up to about 2.8 volts.
Nice. I have a feeling you're going to go farther than that.
Well, put it to you this way: it spiked at 84 volts, but we're getting about a 30 to 35 amps stable.
Nice. So if you run it in series,
yeah,
you get about 15 amps stable. What's that?
Yeah, so if you run, say, 20 cells in series,
Kind of like solar
Yeah,
panel, right? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Never mind. I'm just saying,
Not
like,
even way
yeah.
beyond solar panel technology.
Oh, I'm fully aware of that. Fully aware of that. I went and spent
Mike,
tons of money on solar panels just
if you get it commercialized, I've got countries that would buy it from you. Let's put it that
For
way.
sure.
Yeah, like
Oh, yeah.
there's places in the world that like badly need electricity. Especially on the other side of the world, they would
Mhm.
yeah. So yeah,
There's groups in Canada that would love to get their hands on battery tech that could supply power.
Well, I'll just make this statement. We can do it with household materials.
Hmm.
That's it.
interesting.
I'll let you ponder on that a little.
Gerald,
Yeah.
did you see last week's presentation on at Mike Show or the APEC Open Mic?
You know what? I was looking for the APEC open mic. I couldn't find it for some dumb reason.
Yeah, me too. I couldn't. He didn't post it yet for some reason.
Maybe there
Or
was
maybe-
something good on there and he was told not to. Because
Yeah,
remember,
probably.
he works
I-
with.
I attended it, but
No.
he's the open mic. Yeah.
No, I understand that, but there may have been a good presentation on there that they don't want public. Remember, those guys are connected to DARPA, and
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
If they're connected to DARPA, that should give you a red light right there. That's
yeah, like there was an article that directly talked about Tim and Jeremiah and Mark Sokol and that having a meeting with DARPA and the American Scientific Association and some other governmental agency. I can't remember which. But,
I took a
it's
lot
all
of
good.
scre-
It's wrong. What's
I
that?
took a lot of screenshots of some of the presentations because I thought it had like real valuable, information in there.
Yeah, the only
So-
time I've ever seen an open mic never get posted is because either there's something very valuable in it that they don't want public, or somebody else said, don't put that one out.
But what?
Yeah,
the
maybe-
men in black are knocking on Tim's door and telling him what to do?
I don't know. I can't say that for sure at all. I'm not saying I've had any inclination for that whatsoever. Tim seems like an honest guy. But if you watch the way that the program unfolds and you look at that article that was written about them and the meeting that they had,
where is that article?
what's that?
Where is that article posted?
Let's see. I got it bookmarked. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, just send it to me in the private chat. I'd like to see it.
Yeah, NASA and MIT. Is this the one? Yeah, NASA and MIT scientists united with fringe theorists last year to defeat gravity. And the article goes on to name the Alternative Propulsion Energy Conference.
Did they
And
say energy or engineering?
no, energy conference. It says, let's see, among the invitees were physicists and engineers from MIT, Harvard, and Caltech, members of NASA, SpaceX, Lockheed Martin, and the United States Army Research Laboratory, as well as the infamous hobbyists like Mark Sokol and Jeremiah Pott. And then it goes on and talks about what they said. Well, not entirely. Did you want the link?
Yeah, send it to me in the private chat there.
These are recent news.
This was last year, I think.
Oh yeah.
No, this is a
No.
few years ago. This is
No,
when
no.
APEC was. Sorry?
Remember when Mark Skoll, his laboratory was investigated? They had the home of Homeland Security or something show up at his doorstep there last year. Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Was that all tied to this, or?
Don't know. No idea. I
I
asked
don't-
a few members about it, and they all denied. Oh, no, we're not working with anyone. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, whatever, right? Teach your own. If you are, great. Good for you guys. Like, go for it. But not my cup of tea, I have no problem working with the United States military or the Canadian military for that matter, but I won't work with people like Michael Aquino or certain factions of the United States government. Unfortunately, last I heard, he was head of DARPA. He might have passed away by now, though. But I research who it is that I work for, would work for, if I was to get into that.
I mean, like for me, I wouldn't mind working for anything that's scientific, but anything that is weapon related where it's going to harm somebody, no, thank you.
That's
like if it's
that's not my.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
as
not.
long
Yeah.
as it's defense,
Yeah.
like anti missiles and things like that, or
Yeah, maybe a force field or two, but when it comes
Yeah.
to weaponry, I've seen enough death. And
Yeah,
right in front of me, I'm not even going to get it. I've seen enough. I don't need any more.
I would want my soul unscathed. I don't want any blood on my hands or attached to me or yeah.
You know
So
what?
yeah,
Thank God I got no blood on my hands, but I've seen a lot of blood. So
yeah.
it's what it is.
If it's for scientific, for space research, to get us to another planet,
Well, see,
I'm all in for that stuff.
now you're talking, right? Like if
Yeah.
Elon Musk wanted to actually have a conversation, I'd be fully into it. Some sort of side venture. I can show him some stuff I don't think he's seen like this. He's probably seen a lot of stuff and probably seen the exact same thing that I could show him, but it's just a different method of it. Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't know explaining that right. But see, there's a lot of stuff I haven't shown online because some stuff you shouldn't make public. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. No. What we're doing right now is something way beyond what Michael Kans was working.
well, I'll tell you, we're making people nervous because certain people in scientific community are being forced to release their systems or they're having pressure put on them because we keep releasing more and more information and others are now releasing more information and it's becoming like an avalanche, right? Whereas there are members in the scientific community that wanted to release it slow so they could take credit here and this person could take credit there and that there. But ultimately, this stuff's been done for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And it's just
these companies have been using this for a long time.
Yeah, it's nothing new under the sun. It's just new people discovering that which was hidden or kept away, put away.
Yeah, it's been rediscovered.
Whatever.
Rediscovered. Yeah.
Rediscovered, yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm not trying to step on toes. I'm just telling you what I've been observing. That's all.
Yeah, we're rediscovering what has been hidden in laboratories, and now we're doing it in a public view. And academia is starting to fall behind.
I mean, I think people are just tired of having, technology at a standstill for such a long time. I mean, we've literally been maybe stagnant for the past 50 years. Like we went to the moon once and then we couldn't do it ever again. Why? This is like one of the things like, okay, obviously somebody is holding back on something,
You know what? Ultimately, I think that we've had anti-gravity for a lot longer than people think, imagine, or even can consider. But I think it's been kept from the masses, right? Because remember, you're never going to see them. They don't just disappear. They snap in and out of time. So how can you see something like that, right? It's almost impossible. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Mike.
No, it's there's like free energy's been solved as of 1940, 1955.
Or before that even. I think Tesla solved it.
Before. Yeah, well, I think Tesla did, but under a different method in Canada, we solved it ourselves in 1955. All fossil fuel was basically obsolete in 1955.
I agree.
And Shell, and Shell and all the big oil companies were all over that Design X back in the 50s. and they were watching everything that they were doing. They were there watching like hawks.
I never told you about the story how Shell tried to get into my business, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the brother of the owner of Shell lives in Manitoba. And one of the people that I was building those washing machine motor
Yep.
that are
Generators.
magnetic? Yeah, I was building one that was multiple. So as the shaft turned with one three-phase motor, it turned four of those. So I was getting out like 5,000 watts, and I was only using like 1,800. So
Right.
as I was putting that together, he got to see coil system and how all that was working, and he's like, "Oh, I got this buddy across the road. Really wants to meet you. He's heard all about you." I'm like, "What are you talking?" So I went and met with him, and it turns out he was the brother to the owner of Shell. And he was interested in my work, but I was like, "Sorry, it's not for sale. Can't be shelved." I said, "It's getting out there." I was told by a higher power to do what I can to get it out there, and that's what I'm going to do.
Man, you're absolutely right about these institutions. They buy people's work because they have, an unlimited access of funds, and they put a pause on them.
Well,
Like it's
It's
like
monopolizing. It's
Walk around
monopolizing.
like they own the place.
yeah, I mean, like you.
Monopoly.
Run the
They're a
place.
monopoly. It's a monopoly. What do monopolies do? They take out the
Yeah,
competition.
the juice of power.
Well, see, that's the thing I hate. I have no problem with people in power, and I have no problem with authority. The abuse of authority, that lights a fire in me. Like I could start swearing right now just thinking about it. You know what I mean? I hate that crap. Like from here to
the world's got a lot of it. That's the problem. The world's full of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the greed, right? I'm gonna get paid.
Yeah. Well, the way these guys think, they go, "What's in it for me?"
Yeah.
Right.
That's
the attitude.
Part. And then when they're told to do things that are immoral or out of the realm of normality, they don't even. It's not even a thought. I'm gonna get paid. I have to keep my check. What about my pension? What about my benefit? Right?
People, it's easy for people to sell their integrity. That's the problem.
Maybe that's where I'm blessed. Because I don't have a job. I don't have a savings. I don't own a house. I don't have a license. I don't have ID. And I was classified as dead by the social insurance agency when I was 28.
Okay. Why? Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Well,
so there's nothing they can take away from me. And my freedom, I've done time. What are you going to do?
You literally are off the grid.
And my principal of my school, I loved my school. I had so many friends, was great, right? I was at the end of grade 11, and because he thought I slept with his niece, he kicked me out of school. And there's more to it than that. There was the exam thing. But he wiped out all my records. So I technically have been classified as dead. There's no birth records of me. And there's no school records of me either. So I technically don't exist. But there's thousands
free man walking.
For 100 years.
They're called a free man walking.
I don't know how free I am, because I'll tell you this. It's really difficult to make money when you don't have an ID.
How do you have a bank account or like no?
You don't have
wow.
You put your money under your pillow?
What's that?
You put your money under your pillow?
I spend my money as fast as I get it. And it doesn't bother me. I've lived like that since I was a kid, I guess. I used to make $1,000 a day when I was younger, right? I was into buying and selling and trading and all kinds of stuff. Money got so tiring, it just brought more problems, and it turned me into a person I hated. Now I just don't give a shit about money. I'm well fed. I'm clothed. I have everything I need. I get to play with this kind of stuff that just blows my freaking mind. And I don't know. To me, I've had a great life. So if I'm to bring this stuff out, if you guys are to bring this stuff out, and the government says no, they can take things away from you, right? Take away your pension, take away your savings. They can mess with you.
They're blackmailing.
Take from me. I got nothing. My life, you're sending me home. You know what I mean? So let's get this done. Let's get it out there. Let's make.
And thus is the gospel of Gerald.
No, this is the truth that I live, man. Verticos veritas. Speak the truth as a way of life. It's necessary.
But it's basically the same thing with me. That yes, I'm not dead or anything like that, but I don't have anything to lose in physics. You know, I don't have a PhD in physics or anything like that, and you know, I'm not gonna lose anything by telling the whole world that my experiment works or not. You know, so that's why I don't care. So. So yeah, we kind of all have one thing in common here.
And that's awesome. I'm not trying to put myself in any way, shape, or form different than anyone else. I'm just saying, if they came to take something from me, there's nothing to take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of a crappy thing in a way because I got no pension. I got no money coming to me when my body finally goes kaput. But, you know, I've had a good life. I've done some crazy stuff. So smile away. What do you do?
Smile away.
Yeah.
Like I'm more of the person that like does research and gets it exactly right and follows the step 1, 2, 3. Now what you gonna do? I've done everything however you asked for it. Now what's the verdict? You know, it's like that. Like today I was researching a department called the Department of Office of Integrity. Did you know that there's some like an official department that's what it's called? And you know, and all the major departments like the feds, the national security, they all have to abide by this department. It's very interesting.
But if that department's corrupt, then they're all messed.
That, you know, I don't think that department can be corrupt. I don't think that department can be corrupt.
The Department of Integrity has no integrity by a long shot.
You know, I'm still doing my little research on it. So let's, you know, like, and yeah. So, but yeah,
like
honestly, something that exists.
Go ahead.
I feel bad for the Americans. You know, their state of their government is just like, wow, like it went that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In 1951, they made that law, and now that's the unfortunate part about the states. Like, I was going to send a bunch of coils to Jeremiah and Mark Sokol and all them, right? And after finding out about that law, the minute it gets into the states, it can be considered a proprietary invention that is, I don't know, they can slap some label on it, right? Take it, and then
cease and desist.
Our government to come see me and shut it down, kind of thing, right?
Cease and desist order.
Yeah, for what? Only because of that law that you guys have from 1951. Now, I don't know if we have anything of that sort, but I'm not trying to sell anything or put anything out that's dangerous. I'm trying to teach a way of thought and a way of doing this so people get a little bit more out and in, and then they can, you know, charge their batteries or do whatever it is they can. I don't want to take away from the power company. I want to add to the people that need it because all the money and the bills have got through the roof. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my hydro bill keeps going up. Like this month went up. Like it's ridiculous. It seems like every month my hydro bill is going up by like 1 or 2%. It's like, what the heck? Where is it going to stop?
I pay like about $600 a month on electricity. So
$600?
$600. $600.
Well,
yeah.
What?
$600.
Yeah. Know how much I'm paying? $60 Canadian.
Wow.
I paid like 100. I paid 140 per 2 months.
Oh,
So
how
yeah,
big? Like how many square foot is your place? Like your place? I have about three
well,
thousand square foot, a little over 3,000.
well, yeah, but it depends on your power consumption, not the size of your place.
I've got two AC units.
Okay,
But
that's where you're losing all your power right there. Two ACs, yeah, that's sucking juice, man, or
yeah,
girl.
yeah, and it's really hot, like in Texas, like really hot. Like
Yeah, yeah,
my thermostat is about on like 68 to 70, 72. In that range.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of power. That's yeah.
if
If you
some
if you have your power bill, it will tell you how many kilowatt hours you are consuming per month.
I'll have to find it. I don't know where it is right now.
So like for example, my place, I'm only consuming about 270 amp hours or
Okay,
watt
I
hours.
think
Sorry, watt hours.
they're like charging me somewhere like about 23 cents per kilowatt or something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's extremely ridiculous, but that's how it is. And
Hmm.
invent
Wow,
something where I could reduce my electrical bill where I can put
six
$600 back
hundred.
in. Yeah, six
Wow,
hundred.
that's like
Yeah.
for some people that's a paycheck.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
450 a month. I'm not too far off.
Mm.
450.
Yeah. Well, there's 8
Wow.
people who live in the house, right? Like my twin girls are
Oh, okay.
24-year-old lives here. It
Yeah,
is what it is.
I've got three kids that live in the house too. So like, so yeah.
Yeah. It's surprising how fast it builds up. That's why.
You know what? Your biggest energy guzzlers in the house right now is your AC and some refrigerators can suck a lot of power. Like my refrigerator consumes I think it was what how many amps here? Let me check.
And I live in an old house too, so there's lots of leaks, right? So that doesn't help.
Okay, so my fridge, believe it or not, 115 volts at 1.1 amps. That's nothing. That is how many watts here? 180 watts. That's how much my fridge takes, right?
That's not
If you
bad.
get a fridge, yeah, that's good. That's really good. But if you get a fridge that has, say, an ice maker built in it, you can double it on top of that. So
Oh yeah.
basically, it's like having two fridges in one. So you're
No.
talking about 360 watts to run that fridge. And
How many
about
watt
620.
hours? You said you used how much a day? Or is that a
Well, my fridge is 180 watt hours.
No, I know, but you
180
said you
watts.
used
270
that's for what? The month or the day?
for the month. Yeah, 270
That's not
watt
bad.
hours. Yeah,
I
it's
use a
pretty
lot
good.
more, but that's not bad.
Hmm. But your AC, obviously, that's a big, that just drains.
Yeah, well,
Huge.
I have 3 window ACs going at all times.
Yeah,
My
they're
house is
those are high consumers.
yeah.
I've
They're
been
almost
thinking of getting solar panels to offset. It will cost less to get a solar system and pay into that versus paying the electrical company. But at least I know the solar system at one point, I get it paid off and then I don't have a payment, for that. And it'll like cut the electrical bill probably maybe 3/4 of it at least.
Yeah.
So
I
No,
bought
I get
4,000 watts of solar panels. Well, give and take. I think it's more like 3,600. And
yeah.
that's going to drop my hydro bill quite a bit, down to like I think 120, 140 every month when I'm done. But I'm not sticking it on my roof. I've built something and I've got most of it finished, but I'm having a hard time getting my timing
Yeah.
for the gears right. As soon as I
Oh,
got
okay.
that right, I'll display it.
Yeah, I know what you're building. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it bypasses all the permits and the laws and the rules that go along with it, right? And it's still
Yeah.
legit. It's not like I'm doing anything illegal.
Mhm.
Yeah, because if you put solar panels on your roof, it costs.
Yeah, you have to be regulated through the hydro.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the same thing. If you have, say, a motorhome or whatever, or sorry, like say like a off the grid home, and you put it on wheels, okay, they cannot charge you property tax
Yeah,
on that. The
I
second
know
you
that.
take it off and you put it on blocks, now they can charge you property tax
Yep.
just
Because
by
this.
that one little thing.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that amazing? So if
Yeah,
you had a
what a
piece of
dream.
land, like just a plot, and
Yep.
you had a bunch of trailers there, the property
Yep, put
tax
'em
would
up.
be so minimal.
Yeah, that's right, because it's
Yeah.
on wheels. They can't charge you property tax.
But who wants to build their house on wheels?
Well,
Although I
you
thought
know,
about it, I won't lie. I'd much rather build a
hey,
float home.
you know what? Honestly, the way the world is right now, a lot of people wouldn't care.
Yeah, you're not
They could
wrong.
say that. No, it's
But
true.
you can live more comfortably in a float home, and there's no tax bills, no property tax, no rent, nothing.
Mhm.
Maybe you'll get mooring fee, like some place that you want to latch up to where you can have shore power and a parking space. But I've already got 5 spots picked out where I don't need that. So if I'd love to, in my retirement, build a float home, it would be awesome.
Yeah.
Will I get
Like a boathouse.
Yeah. They're
Oh,
easy to
cool.
build. They're very easy to build. I worked on a ship in BC for like 4 years, so I know all about how to build boats. I wouldn't say all about. 4 years is not much, but we did some crazy stuff, man.
You should easily harness the electrolysis we were talking about last week, like to generate 9 times more hydrogen by heating up water.
Yeah, you know what? I was Nathan brought that up on his podcast there, and I had mentioned to him, and it's in my notes. I was very happy. I was all excited when I heard that.
Yeah.
I was doing that about 15 years ago, but I didn't know that it was that significant. I thought everybody was doing it. So what I was doing is bringing my water close to the boil, and then I would do my hydrogen experiments on it. And it would
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was a normal thing to do. Apparently, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
There's
freaking
a few
awesome.
other components. There's a few other components I could add to that are mind blowing. Somebody showed me how they did it, so I can't really talk about that one online for obvious reasons. Because yeah,
Well, you're in business with somebody, so you can't. But I can tell you about the cell that I created. I used a flat stainless steel. It was in a spiral around plexiglass, and it was one cell this way and one cell in the opposite direction, positive and negative. Man, I had so much hydrogen, I didn't even know what to do with it. It was insane. So maybe that'll help somebody, maybe it won't. But
I saw a video. Somebody used steel wool. Steel
yeah,
wool.
I've seen that.
Yeah. I thought that was a really cool idea. They put the steel wool because it has more surface area for
Yeah.
the chemical reaction or whatever the electrolysis of splitting the hydrogen and water. I thought that was a really cool idea. Yeah.
I'm just gonna scoot out for. I'm just gonna scoot out for a quick smoke. Just carry on. I'll be right back.
All right. So, Phil, you were doing an experiment. Did you get your gallium stuff together for that?
Yeah, I mean, I cannot. I don't have the video because I need to pay the bill. But like I was saying last week, with 150 amps, I get the weight shift of 2.6 grams. So we're not talking about milligrams or nanograms. It starts to be grams now. So it starts to be interesting. Obviously, I'm not using mercury. If I was using mercury, it would be more efficient.
It would, but it would be a little more dangerous and
Yeah.
different
Um,
setup too.
yeah. And yeah, I'm gonna present that stuff in Texas in December. All my it can be
Nice.
easily maximized, but no, this is a starting point. Now we start having over zero numbers, so it's pretty interesting.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I
So I
can't
thought,
wait to see it. When you
yeah,
do your sorry, go ahead.
that's why I was asking if you saw the open mic last week, because I showed. I did a clean presentation about all that and the electrolysis thing.
No, I missed it. I was gonna go on it and I was out of town, and then when I come back they didn't show it. So I don't
Um,
They
know if
ac-
it will by now.
they actually were. I attended it. They were actually. They said that they were expecting you to present, and
yeah, I
because yeah,
told Tim before.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's awesome that you
yeah,
presented. I don't know if I want to.
you
Like,
want to present your stuff?
yeah, on APEC. Like, I'm not sure if I want to.
Why?
Well, I don't know. Most people consider it an honor, right? But
Well, I mean, it's more exposure to open source your idea. I mean,
yeah, I guess you
If
could look
it
at
works,
that.
if your stuff works, why not? That's they were tired of hearing about my theory, but they're pretty interested to hear about the results of my experiments and things like that. So if your
See,
experiment works, they'll
that's
be
the
happy
thing,
to.
though. I've showed them stuff on APEC, and there was silence. Like you can hear a
Yeah.
pin drop. None of them want to ask questions or know about it. And frankly, I'm not sure if I can help any of them. I don't have an education. So because of that, well, an education. I research tons. Like I read from sun up to sundown. I'm a voracious reader. I love it. But I don't know. Because I have
man.
no education, I think it might be an issue for them.
Man,
So
I wish I could win the lottery like so big to get all of you guys into one huge building, like and make an expo, cover it by CNN, where we could beat any Nobel Prize, anything in scientific, and it's like broadcasted worldwide. Nobody then could like put a cap on that.
I
Yeah, I mean,
wasn't kidding when I said this before, Lulu. With the people that we've collected in this team, 6 months we'd be in the air. I'm not exaggerating.
all right,
I say that with full confidence. So it's
I
just
hope so.
our resources. We need to come together. We need to talk about certain things. I need to do certain tests that I can't do alone, and I need space. Kind of like Tesla needed space for Wardenclyffe. I need space.
Yeah, we
And
need like a big old hangar, where we could actually really have stations, to get this done. It's
I
not,
need
yeah.
big rolls of cable. I need an aluminum welder. I need certain things, and I'll show you some stuff. We put all of our resources together. Mike's battery. We'll have Phil's system going on in the background for a backup anti-gravity for the system that you put out. You know what I mean? Like we could get some stuff going on here. We got.
I mean, I had a really cool idea, like for to make a, quick buck. Those I don't know if I want to say it publicly because everybody's going to take my idea, but it's an idea. I can't do it by myself. It needs different locations. But the idea is simple. With whatever's going on in politics, with all the little things, exploding, the little pagers and stuff like that. Well, how do we know that our devices aren't already rigged at any minute that they send a, signal to our devices and it just, we don't know.
have
So
somebody take a few apart.
Well, so this is what I thought. Why don't we get one of those little explosive detectors, the ones that they use at the airports? You
Oh
buy
yeah,
this and get have a little kiosk in the mall and charge people $10 to scan their device if it has anything in it or not. Could you imagine how many people would line up, just to have
not
their
wrong.
devices scanned?
You're not
That's
wrong.
a quick buck right there. I mean, within like a month or two, we would have a couple of $1 million just off of scanning people's devices if it has, any combustible components in it or not.
You might be right. You might be right. I
Yeah.
have a
So,
couple inventions that are worth a lot of money. I just need somebody who's good at marketing and who wants to make a few $1 million. I
yeah.
have something that takes away the carpal tunnel syndrome from anyone who uses pressure washers to do semis. I have a device that negates the pressure, and you
Yeah.
can literally pressure wash it with 2 fingers. I have,
Most people don't care about their health. They
yeah,
care about the immediate danger, like whatever is hyped up in the media. So this is hyped up. Let's bank on that.
and there's,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
you're absolutely right. So most people wouldn't buy it, but if you went and lobbied the government for a device that had to be put on the pressure washers in order to negate that issue, it's worth multi-millions of dollars, right? Because that's a big thing in Canada. They have to pay people compensation for carpal tunnel, and people are guaranteed to get carpal tunnel if you use pressure washer for longer than, I think it's like a year and a half, 2 years or something like that, right?
Hmm.
So that device might work, might not. I also have a device where if you're in a grow room, it's so for growing marijuana, and it's legal out here, and this is why I built this thing. It follows the time in such a way. It's hard to explain if you don't know about growing. You know what a screen of green is?
What is
So
it?
it's like this, right? People that grow marijuana will grow one plant, it'll come up, it'll have one fat top. I figured out a way, and this is something that's been done many times. I haven't figured out the screen of green thing. That's a known thing. But I figured out a way where I can take 4 plants, put it in this device, hit the timer, plug it in, and it literally bends the plant slowly to the point where you don't get one top. Out of 4 plants, you get 40 tops. So it increases your yield.
Man, that is such an industry that has already been divided amongst the profit, like the top elite. It would be almost impossible for anybody to like infiltrate that, because they make a
You're
lot of
not
money
wrong.
off of it.
But when people come up with devices for grow rooms, companies eat it up, right? So there's
Man,
like
they'll raid you. They'll like destroy yours and set up. They'll like it's not. There's too much
that's
competition in that arena.
I don't know. I know some people.
At least I'll tell you this: in Texas, it's already been divided amongst I don't know who, but they'll like they don't have room for somebody with an idea where it's going to disrupt their cash flow.
You know what? There's so much money in marijuana and the things that go along to grow marijuana and the devices to smoke marijuana in Canada. You could open up 1 million businesses and it wouldn't be enough. And that's not an exaggeration. There's so many people that smoke: doctors, lawyers, janitors, teenagers, right?
Is it legal? Is it legal in Canada?
It's legal in Canada. Yeah. Everybody.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you're allowed to grow. What is it? 4 plants?
What's that?
I think you're allowed to grow. You're allowed to grow 4 plants.
Yeah, anybody in Canada can grow 4 plants, but BC you can grow more. Alberta you can grow more, and I believe Toronto.
Yeah, but the problem is you cannot cross the border if they know that you're smoking every day, because it's illegal at the federal in the United States. And
which
then
is retarded considering half the world is legal. But hey, whatever.
But I'm just saying a heads up here.
No, I hear you. Yeah. I don't go to the
Like
States, unfortunately. So
here in Texas, it's different counties. Like my county, it's my God. They're like, I mean, it's so illegal here. Like even if you don't have it, but if somebody stops you and your car smells like it, you get arrested. Even if you don't have it, it's just they're really really like Montgomery County here in Texas
yeah.
is horrible. Like I'm telling you, they're monsters about this stuff. They
Well,
don't want it in the
we're
county. They don't.
if
you know
you
what
like marijuana, go ahead, Mike.
in your state is it pretty much like a Bible state? Like hardcore,
Almost. Yeah.
Christianity. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I get an email from a local church here. The pastor is inviting me and my kids to go, and I think he stated it's not a place of conversion, but it's more of a place to find God. So they want everybody to be a part of, these, I don't know, call them religious groups or some,
Well,
I don't know.
if smoking
Well,
marijuana goes against God, then that means God made a mistake, and God don't make mistakes because every human being has over 2,000 THC receptors in their endocrine system. And if you, as a mother, didn't have THC in your breast milk, your babies would refuse to eat and they would starve to death. And that's known scientific fact. So God made it so that we had THC receptors. And there's no other animal on the planet that has that and that would use such a plant for such a thing. So I think that's more of a religious bullshit kind of, oh my God, it's the devil's weed kind of
Listen,
crap.
I
I'm not
personally,
I don't get that. Not at all.
personally, I'm not against it, but I wouldn't be promoting it to my kids.
No, and I understand that, and I wouldn't be
or
promoting it to others either. I don't recommend anyone to smoke it, but if you're going to smoke it, know what it is, know what it does, know where it came from, know how long it's been around. Remember when Jesus Christ said that you should not be as a drunkard, he didn't say you shouldn't drink. Just don't be a drunk. It's just like smoking marijuana.
Yeah,
Sure,
exactly.
you can smoke marijuana, but don't be a freaking pothead. You know what I mean?
What do you think Moses when he went up on the mountain, that flaming bush? What do you think that was? I think that was a marijuana tree.
I don't know.
I still think that was a marijuana tree that he had up there.
Yeah, he was eating that guy. I'm not going to get into the history of Moses. I can go on for a long time about that. That guy was a priest. He was also, remember, he was like Pharaoh's brother, right? He was a high priest of Egypt. He was one of the guys that knew how to make mifkit, which was manna, which is like monatomic elements that extend your life. The king's list, where these kings were like 20,000 years old, they couldn't figure out why. It had a lot to do with monatomic elements. Gold, silver, platinum. All that was mixed together at the top of Mount
Sinai. Is it Sinai?
And they found the whole temple where Moses used to work and inscriptions on the walls and the whole 9 yards. So when the Israelites wandered the desert for 40 years, he was feeding them manna because there was no food other than, I guess, their stock that they held. It's interesting stuff when it comes to science. It goes that far back. So yeah. Sorry, like I said, I shouldn't get into Moses because I can go on forever.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
looking at Mifkit, and that's what led me to that. Sorry, go ahead.
Let Ben show his video. He's probably uploaded now.
Is it uploaded there?
Hi, Mikey. Mikey's gone.
He's like the shadow guy, right? He's here and then he's gone.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Okay, what are we seeing here?
Okay, that's the input on the oscilloscope at 60 hertz square. Let's change it to 800 or 1000. Let's decrease it a little bit. Oh, wow.
I recognize that.
So
Tell
that
me
is
something in
not
those
at all
waveforms.
like the output signal we're getting from the coil.
Do you get it going both ways?
Let's clamp that directly to the output now.
What's that red thing underneath the table?
And look at
That's the
that.
coil.
2ms,
didn't-
still at 2ms. Look at how much bigger that waveform is. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And as you can see, I turn up the gain a little bit on the stereo. This turns on. This is not turned on. This is the 0-point energy generator Mark 1. Demonstrating resonance and over unity.
Nice oscilloscope.
So the fan is the output energy.
So yeah, that's the waveform input versus the output, and you can see I don't adjust the resolution. It looks to be like larger on the output, so, and it looks to be a little bit more uniform as well.
So your waveform, when it goes left to right, do you see? Sorry, within that waveform, when it goes left to right, do you see it also go from right to left?
I only looked at it for a few minutes. I was hoping to do some more like experimenting tonight, so we can hook it up and take a look at it if you want.
When you look at your waveform, regular waveform goes from left to right. That's how it usually reads. So if you see within that waveform some sort of a signal or a pattern going from right to left, that means you're in resonance. So you're getting a reflected wave, right?
So I look for the so I have to look for that back pattern.
Yeah, I could show. I don't know if I have one in that video I just did. Yeah, I could show it to you in the future. Every time I turn it on, I get that wave.
Do you think a small, cheap like oscilloscope will show that?
Oh yeah, should. It depends. Do you go up to? It depends on your range. Like I had a small oscilloscope that only went up to like something like 1 megavolt.
So you just gotta tune into the right resolution.
Yeah.
To kind of see
how high it goes. How many volts?
I think it goes up to 5. I have the box right here.
It should be milliseconds.
Yeah, that's the lowest, right, Mike? Milliseconds.
Or micro.
1 M bandwidth.
1 megabyte. 1 megahertz. Yeah.
Highest measured voltage is plus minus 400 volts.
But what's your screen like? What's your max?
Look at your eyes.
10 volts, 20 volts, 100 volts.
So you can sort by volt divisions, and you can stretch out the sine wave by milliseconds.
Yeah.
Turn it on. Let's see.
Like my little miniature scope would only go maximum of 10 volts per division.
It's like 10 milliseconds. 10 milliseconds, 1 millisecond, 100 milliseconds. You want to bring it down to 1 millisecond or lower so you can see the signal.
Yeah, but what about your volts of division, Mike?
Well, that's the peak to peak, but do you want to see the signal as small as it actually is? So you go down to 1 millisecond, you know.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean by that. Yeah,
better view of the signal.
Yeah.
Each cycle, you can see 1 millisecond
So
cycle.
right now it's set to this is probably the default. There might be other settings, but it's set to V max 80 millivolts.
Peak to peak, so 40 volts up, 40 volts down if it's AC. Yeah. From the zero line, 40 volts above it, 40 volts below it is peak to peak. So that would be 80 peak to peak. Peak to peak means above the zero line and below the zero line. You add the two together, so it would be 40 and 40. You get 80.
My last little test, I was getting
If this is
97
80.
volts peak to peak.
If this is 80 pp, then it's peak to peak. DC is one peak, the positive peak. There's no negative on the DC.
Yeah.
But you won't see the negative on the DC. You only, you won't see the negative on the DC. You only see the negative on an AC signal.
Yeah. Yeah, the negative's chopped on a DC. It's not even there.
You can also chop the positive and leave the negative also with DC. There's a way to do that.
Oh, yeah, reverse the polarity in some way on your oscilloscope.
So I'm gonna hook that up in a minute, and I also have this, which is the protection circuit that I whipped up here. Let me.
You're fading because of your screen. You can't see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it off. Give me 1 second. It's in XSplit settings. Okay, so you see right here, that's my protection circuit. I have a high frequency diode right here for the plus between the stereo and the input of the rodent coil. And then I also have a 2 amp 250 volt fuse right here on the negative. And the diode that I'm using is a FR207. I'll be hooking that up to the stereo amp, trying to get it to, hopefully it'll work. And if it works, that'll give us some protection.
Nice. I didn't get my MJE 13009s yet, but I did make the circuit out of a TIP 35C. So I just need to test it. I got to go upstairs. That's where my other stereo is. And then I'll let you know if the circuit works on Monday.
Awesome. Yeah, I literally just got this oscilloscope, so I'm about to hook it up and do a look for that second wave pattern and see if we can find it.
I got a new oscilloscope too, but it was the 3-in-1, like what Mike has, I think. It does the function generator, the oscilloscope, and the voltmeter on the same thing. It's like $90 or something. I like the scope. Goes up.
I got the full.
What's that?
I got the full scale. I got the full scale one.
Did you?
Actually, Actually, here, hold on. I'll see if I can grab it.
Oh, we're all pulling out our scopes.
my scope's bigger than.
We're measuring
scopes I'm really curious.
Huh? No.
Honestly, I haven't been able to play with this thing, so I'm gonna look for that second. You said it's gonna be at like a wave back. Is it gonna be like a lower frequency? Maybe like maybe it happens every once in a while.
You know what? You'll see it within your waveform. So as it's going left to right, it's almost like you'll see a squiggly line, or
I do see a squiggly line in the center. It's just there. It's just like really thin in the center.
Yeah, and it looks like it's bumping along the way.
Yeah, it's hard to see. It was either like a square pattern or squiggly. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, and it looks like a little worm going backwards. Yeah. That shows resonance.
Wow.
That's a reflective wave.
I'll have to check it out again, but no, like I just got a minute to look at it. That's awesome. No, that's why I wanted to ask you, because you have experience in looking for these like waveforms, and I don't know what the heck I'm looking for. I got excited because the waveform looked bigger. I'm like, oh, it verifies that there's something more coming out at least.
Yeah, well, that's what shows resonance when you're above and below your zero line. and then you can see whatever it is the waveform is, and then the reflective wave within it, right? That doesn't mean you're getting a lot of power because it depends on your volts per division and depends on how fast and all that. But I'm learning too, right?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So Ben,
I'm excited.
then the reason I say zoom into the millisecond is because you can see your duty cycle on each cycle and tell how much amps you're using.
Yeah, no, like I literally only had about 3 or 4 minutes to play with this thing. So we're gonna load it up and I'm gonna learn how to use it.
So
Keep an eye out for the millisecond setting.
You turn it to the millisecond setting, and then I missed what you said, Mike.
I'm just trying to tell Ben to find the millisecond setting on there and mess with
Oh
that.
yeah, I know where that is. I've been able to adjust the resolution.
Yeah, and then zoom in all the way to the lowest to the smallest millisecond division, and you can see the width of the sine wave, and inside there is how much amps you're using. So
Oh, that's a nice one. Is that
you
like
got
a
a
multi-channel?
Yeah, it's Handtech DSO 2D10.
See, that's what I need, a multi-channel, so I can see both
Mike,
the input
you
and
win.
output and compare them.
You win. Yours is bigger than mine.
Yeah, my scope is bigger than your scope.
And hey, thanks for that tip on the waveform millisecond thing there, Mike. I didn't know that. So go ahead there, Mike. It's really hard to talk to both of you at the same time. Well,
Yeah, sorry, we didn't. Yeah, you were saying adjust the millisecond on the waveform till it's the lowest.
right. Then once you can see one single cycle, one sine wave, you should be able to see one, and then you'll see the graphs, right? And this graph part of the graph, the vertical part graph, is one division. So you want to count how many divisions is inside the sine wave. Inside there, how many
the maximum
squares,
of the parabola.
how many squares are in there? And then using the oscilloscope and all the division settings on the oscilloscope, you can figure out how much amps you're using per cycle.
Yep.
How many watts? That's very handy.
And
that's
how much you're getting back to.
That's probably the most widest reason they use oscilloscope, to find out how much energy they're using per cycle, so they can tell the efficiency of what they're working on.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I could definitely be able to fine tune and find exactly what the efficiency percentage is of the system, instead of just kind of guessing at it.
By counting the graph bars that fit inside the sine wave, inside the wave, inside.
Yeah.
At the center point, the widest point of the wave, not the narrowest point, but the widest point, which would be closer to the zero line. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. Somewhere around there, you.
But Mike Faraday, nice scope. That hand text.
It's probably at the midpoint between top and bottom of the sine wave. Probably around there.
Good lesson on that one, Mike does. And Mike Faraday, that was an awesome hand tech. Was it expensive?
I got it for free.
Oh, right. You said you're right.
Yeah.
You lucky guy, man. That's a nice one.
Oh, yeah. That's a $350 machine right there.
I just got cheapo Amazon $90 3-in-1 deals.
Yeah, I got one of those too. I got one of those. I think the one I got is like $50. It's probably cheaper than It's nothing special, but it does work.
Yeah, does the trick. Gives you an idea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I want to do any serious testing, I use that scope there.
Yeah, I guess you could get into like the 100 megahertz range or gigahertz range with that thing.
Yeah. I think it goes up to 10 gigahertz or something like that.
Yeah, mine really does 10
pretty
megahertz.
high.
But I only want to play the if anything. I don't want to go any higher than that.
Yeah, scopes are, you you can get good ones, and there's some ones that don't last. You know, I've had a couple
Yeah.
that blew up on me or just don't function well.
Yeah, they're off.
But yeah, they're just not very accurate. You know.
I thought that mine was off because of the numbers I was getting, and then I calibrated it, and it turns out no, the numbers are right. I pump in 100K on my frequency, and I'm pulling out like a megahertz of frequency on the coil.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, for the type of stuff you're doing, yeah, you need one of those.
Yeah,
It really helps out.
it does. So I've got a few things done this week. I did the Edlead Scallon PMH with a horseshoe.
Oh, right, yeah.
Can't get it to stick though. Like I hit the power and sucks that plate to it, and it's strong, man. But then
Yeah,
when I
it's strong,
release the
yeah.
power, it's just an electromagnet. So I'm either doing something wrong, but my experiment failed.
That's still cool. I like Ed Lee Scallon's story. He's got a really cool backstory.
Yeah, he was a
Yeah, he
smart
does.
man. Some people think he used pulleys and tackle, and others
Well, there's
think
a guy.
it's PMH.
Well, you know Vinny St. Vincent, right?
Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah.
channel? Yeah, he's
Oh, yeah, I've
pretty
talked to
good.
He knows his
I
stuff.
Where is he?
Do what?
Where does he live? Where's Vinny St. Vincent?
Florida,
Does he
I
live in
think.
Texas?
I think he's in
Florida?
Florida.
Mm.
I think
so
Ed
sorry,
used a combination of balance and leverage and also unknown means, you know.
Yeah, it's a bit of everything, I think. I don't think it's one thing. Right?
I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'm out of salsa. Sorry about that.
Big time. Just kidding.
I run out of salsa.
I'm not
Whenever
doing
he does a show, no, it's hilarious. Whenever he does a show, he always gets nachos and cheese and salsa. It's
Must
a
be a
Friday
Frenchman.
night tradition.
Right?
He must be a Frenchman. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get melon seeds, like
Melon
Oh,
seeds.
there you
little.
go.
Yeah, these little seeds, like the little melon. I don't know if you could see them, like
Yeah.
these. Yep, I think these are really good. They're
Nice. Pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds for me.
like they're melon seeds, but they also call them Egyptian seeds because I think the melons that these seeds come are from Egypt because they're really tiny.
Interesting.
I don't. Can you see it? Yeah, right there. They're like
Oh, yeah.
itty bitty. Yeah, they're very small seeds.
Thought they
But
were
they're really
bigger.
good.
It's interesting.
Show it again.
They're very itty bitty seeds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the size.
Kind of look like
Are they
pumpkin seeds. Tinier pumpkin
Yeah,
seeds.
kind of like small pumpkin seeds. Yeah.
Yeah. No, pumpkin seeds are more like pointier and longer,
That's
and
true.
you know, yeah, these are like a little chubbier and shorter. So they're pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah, but they're such high in cholesterol. It's unbelievable. Like
How much
one
was your-
bag.
I used to think pumpkin seeds were healthy. I was eating them like crazy until I found out they're high in copper. It's a sterility drug, copper.
This one
I need
has.
to eat more.
Plants are high in copper in general.
Maybe those are not that bad. It doesn't have like a whole lot. I think just the sodium content is high, but that's it. Yeah, they're pretty
How
good.
much was your meter, Ben? How much was your meter?
Me?
No, Ben.
Oh, Ben.
The oscilloscope?
Yeah.
Somebody's microphone is echoing. I think
So it was only
turn down your
$40.
speaker.
Oh, $40. Cool.
Yeah, I hear a background noise.
I
Could
bought
be my
the same
fan.
$40
That's not
one.
from me.
I got
It could be
fans.
my fan. Yeah, I got a fan going too.
See, that's what you should buy for $90 there, Ben.
Oh yeah, those ones. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, those are good ones.
they're
Did
handy.
you see that? Did you see the waveform though, Gerald? Were you able to take a look at that waveform I had?
Earlier, yeah.
Yeah, I zoomed in on it. It kind of looked like an H. I don't know.
I got pictures of H bar, man. I got a lot of H. I didn't think I did, but what's the significance of an H bar? Is that what you're looking for anti gravity? Is that the key?
I don't know, but what is this?
Like I know Nathan keeps talking about an H bar.
I don't know either. I guess it's two spikes, and there's, in the middle, it forms an H.
Yeah, yeah, that's almost an H bar, Ben. Not quite. I'm gonna have to dip out soon, guys, but I'm gonna stay on as long as I can here. I just wanted to let you know.
All right. Have you done anything with the electroculture lately, or?
Actually, I just 2 weeks ago pulled everything down, and I'm just about to put in a new floor of plastic and new step risers for more plants, and I'm doing a whole new crop. So this time, from beginning to finish, now that I have proper cameras and editing software and all that, I'm going to, from beginning to end, do a full electroculture. And I'm going to do it with different types of plants. I've got heirloom seeds. I've got, oh man, the types of plants. I got cucumbers, tomatoes, you name it, right? So, yeah.
Looks like Ben zoomed in
Do you
there.
grow? Do you grow
And I'm going
like
to grow
garlic
some.
or
Go ahead.
garlic or anything like that?
Yep, I got garlic. I got green onions. I got cucumbers, tomatoes, honeydew, basil. I got all kinds of herbs and spices I'm going to be growing too. So this time round, I need a full rack of herbs and spices. I got to do tomatoes, cucumbers, and green onions.
You plant your own stuff?
Yeah, I grew up in my house, and then I
Oh, wow.
jar it, pickle it, whatever else
Very
I
cool.
can.
Very cool.
Yeah, in the winter, my grow room supplies or helps supply the heat for my house. So
You're growing inside?
yeah, I got a full grow room.
Oh, it's much better outside. Why not outside?
We get short seasons, right? Like I still do a garden outside, but
Oh,
I
you're
mean,
in Canada.
we get one crop off outside. Inside my grow room, I get 5 a year.
You got room to put a greenhouse outside to get the sun and your lights at the same time?
No, not my yard. But I've got a full 12 by 12 room that it's plastic on the ceiling, the floors, or the floor, the walls, the ceiling. It's all taped off. It's got negative pressure in it. I use high pressure sodium and metal halide lights.
Gerald, put your coil in the middle of the room. See what happens. Does it, grow faster?
Well, that's part of the electroculture system.
Well,
I've already
right.
done it. It makes your food grow bigger and faster. And this time I'm going to do it on camera and prove it.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So sometimes it doubles your yield. Sometimes it only gives you plusher plants with a nicer, juicier fruit. It depends on what you're growing, and at least from my experience thus far. And it also depends on the frequency you're using. So I've played with a few.
I have a few plants in my house. I've got like 2 fig trees, a locust, a lemon tree, and a lot of mint.
I've always wanted to grow figs and lemons. I've never got there. So you got one up on me, Lou. Good for you.
Yeah, I've got like the 2 of them. One like the purple the purple figs, and then the green ones. I've got
Nice.
and my gosh, these things, like, like yield maybe, I don't know, 200-300 figs every season, every year, like a
Wow.
lot. Yeah, but my kids love it. They go outside, they pick, like throughout the whole summer, but most of it
So
the birds get most of it.
if
It's
you
all
were
right.
to grow, let's say on average 300 figs a year, and you were to put a coil, like an electroculture coil pulsing at a certain regimen throughout the year, I would guess that you would get 450.
Oh
That's how
wow,
much extra you would get. Yeah.
wow.
From my experience. That it's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's you're putting electricity into the soil. Maybe you're splitting the magnetic from the electrostatic. I haven't quite figured out what the mechanism behind it. I just know that it works so far.
I know magnets. If you put magnets like at the base, it helps.
Yeah,
Plants grow. So yeah.
pull up, then the plant loves that, and it increases its yield, or it'll grow better, right? At least that's what the magnets do. Mine does a little bit more than that, but I'm pulsing electricity into it. It's not like I'm just throwing a magnet there and leaving it there, right? Big difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still along the same lines, though.
Well, you
So
got to
that-
show us next time. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, when I put all the grow room together, I'll do video of it, and I'll show how I'm setting up all the electroculture and where the wires are going, how I'm grounding it, and the frequency I'm pulsing it with. I'll show it all because people have been asking about it. I started it a year and a half ago, maybe a little more than that, and I haven't done any follow up. So it's time to kind of do a full room and show everyone what I've learned. So, yeah, electroculture is the way to go. Everybody should use it. You can do it with a simple coil wire and a stick. It will still improve your plant growth. Not as much as what I'm doing, but it would still improve it.
I mean, let's
Any
use the
specific wire or
technologies. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
any specific wire that you use, Gerald, or
For when I'm pulsing it, or just regular electroculture.
just regular, with the stick in the ground and the coil.
You know what
like
seems
that
to be
type of
working
wire.
really well with the stick in the ground is 1/4-inch tubing, copper tubing, and you just form it into a little spiral. You stick it on the stick.
Yep.
Right. Run a little wire from the tip of that spiral down into the soil.
Okay.
That seems to be the basic, and it improves the lushness of the plant. I don't know how much it would improve fruit wise. I haven't done that experiment yet, but
So how many would you have, say, in a square shaped little garden? One in each corner, or one in the middle, or
if you were using the coil system and pulsing, one in the middle, and your ground line goes to each pot.
okay.
You know what I mean? And it
Right.
goes into
Gotcha.
the soil. Right?
Okay.
You would think, oh,
like a nail, with a
Yeah.
nail attached to it.
You could use a nail, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I just stuck the copper. I just bared a little bit of it, shoved it straight into the soil, just like that. Yeah.
But you have it where the wire is plugged into the coil that's generating this electric field, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The wire that goes into the soil is the ground line.
Okay.
Comes off the coil. There's a reason for that. Your soil's your negative, your plant's your positive. You want your plant to reach for the positive. So in your root,
Gerald, you have a product then, like just put it in an epoxy, like where so it doesn't oxidize or like anything gets into it, and sell it as a product, for like growing plants right there.
I could.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't think I'm quite there yet, but I could. Like until it's shown publicly, it's just talk, right? So when I'm done doing all the videos and showing people how it works, then maybe I could. That's an idea, Lulu.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to have a couple of prototypes, and then you send it off to one of those manufacturers, and then they can mass produce it, and you sell it as a product. You know, like I mean, there thousands of people are selling things that like really don't make sense, and you know, but this does.
You're not wrong.
You know.
If
Yeah, I
we
mean,
put out fake free energy, we'd probably have views through the roof.
you know, like okay, if we're not like if anybody's like battling us and using it in a different form, like as free energy or electric, but this one is a system which helps, you know, grow you know, food.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to be against that. You know.
I don't know. It grows food pretty quick. You can grow, I don't know, I'd say it cuts about a third off. And for some types of crops, almost half of its timeline. So for marijuana, a strain that takes 10 weeks gets cut down to 6.
Well, let's advertise it for like
So,
vegetables and fruits, but let's you know,
well,
because the minute you say
here's the thing, though, right? So tomatoes are symbiotic with marijuana, and they have been roughly
You
the
damn
same.
Canadians in your
They're
marijuana.
usually about 2 months, and then you get, you know, nice ripe
Marijuana.
tomatoes, maybe 2.5, and I can cut that down to 6 weeks. But I wouldn't have known that if I didn't do that with marijuana.
well, yeah,
Because
but
marijuana-
don't like like some places that is very frowned upon. Like, so you leave that to the imagination of the, you know, customer that's going to buy it, but you don't, you know.
Oh, I get that part. But we're just talking here, so you know, I'm not advertising the product, right? But marijuana and tomatoes are symbiotic. They can grow in the same plot, feed each other.
I did not know that.
They have a same kind of a growth rate, right? Yeah. That's how I knew to test tomatoes. Yeah. Knocks off about almost a month, give or take. At least electroculture. So
I have never seen a live plant of, like, you know, marijuana plant. I've only seen it in TVs, you know, movies, but an actual one, I've never seen one. Like, yeah, but I think it would be
I've had lots of experience with it. I have had lots of experience with it. I've seen
you're
6
like
feet
Mother
tall ones.
Teresa.
6 feet tall, 3.5 feet wide. No joke. Had pictures. They can grow into trees. I'm not kidding.
It'd be nice to like see.
So I can talk about that stuff, right?
But now you're so innocent.
Right? And Lulu's like,
I mean, I'm innocent, but not that. And I've never said that I have not tried it. Yes, I have, but you know, I've never seen the plant. Like, you know, I've just seen it in like little, granules, but you know, but that's about it.
yeah.
Just fucking you.
Well, when it's legal, you get to be around a bunch, right? Well, not everybody, but I worked for people that do warehouses for the government. So
listen, I felt the best in my life when I smoked that stuff. So I'll be honest with, you know, like,
well, it's not like a recommended medical thing, but it definitely there's papers on it that state
I was so creative. I had energy through the roof. Like, my gosh, like, he was like the magic thing. Like, what is this? You know?
So you gotta take a trip to California.
Maybe.
Yeah, isn't it legal in California or is it illegal?
Yes. No, it's legal.
It's legal, right?
It's legal. Yeah.
Medicinally, or it's completely legal?
Completely illegal.
Completely legal, not just for medical, but for anything, whatever.
For anything,
yeah. When I was on Hollywood Boulevard, everybody was smoking weed.
Oh yeah, you're not supposed to smoke down the streets in Canada, but people do it all the time.
Yeah, no, I can't. I became a licensed insurance agent. I can't do anything wrong anymore. You know, so yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to smoke that shit. No, I'm just kidding. I just know about it, that's all. You can't not know about it in Canada. It's legal, right? everywhere.
Yeah.
And man, I have kids. It's like I don't. I don't want them to get into that stuff. Yeah, I've seen so much, people's lives get ruined because of that thing. So I'm not against it, but I wouldn't promote it. And if I am, we'll be like, in my garage with the garage door down and hiding in a corner. If I, like if
Different
yeah.
culture though, from the States to Canada, right? And I use it for pain 9 times out of 10 because I got into a head-on car crash with a drunk driver, right? Messed up my back. So for me, it's not like I do it for recreation all the time. Once in a while, sure, but it's all on how you use it. Do you use it as a tool, or do you use it like people use alcohol and they're pounding it back like no tomorrow, right? It's the same thing. It's all with moderation. It's all in balance.
It's really hard to abuse the Mary Jane, but I've seen lives destroyed on things more illicit stuff. Needles and snorting.
Yeah, Mary Jane's just gonna put you to sleep, make you lazy, and eat a lot.
Man, you're from Miami, like all the stuff, like the stuff comes from that area, because you guys are close to the coast, close to Cuba, close to, everywhere that they can, like,
Everybody down here is messing with that crap.
Actually, believe it or not, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. No, I don't want to get Mike in trouble.
No, you just described what Toronto is now.
Yeah, Toronto.
And Vancouver is really bad for like the illicit stuff, like like zombie apocalypse there.
But it's legal there now.
No, I'm talking about bad stuff.
No, the bad stuff too. You can hold cocaine,
but
you can hold heroin, you can hold meth, you can hold anything out there. Trudeau made it legal. It's insane.
Well, put it to you this way: it killed a good friend of mine's daughter.
Yeah.
She's 23 years old and she's already gone.
It's evil, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying it's also legal. And
there's stuff on the street now that's super dangerous.
Oh yeah, I know. It was coming on the street before it became. Yeah, I know about it.
I have a question. Could we use the coil frequency to detect different products or different chemicals, like to get the waveform for different elements using the coil system? So let's say I want to detect if there's sodium, like or I'm saying sodium, but it could be just anything else. Would that have a waveform specific to that chemistry?
I'm not sure if it's Sean Calderon or.
So, I have an answer to your question, Lulu.
The mathematician that came on Nathan's podcast the other day stated that yes, there's a frequency for everything. My coil system doesn't do it, but apparently there's a way of finding a frequency for absolutely everything.
Actually, the frequency for grass is 528 hertz because it's got a lot of sulfur in there. So sulfur is 528 hertz. So you can take that bit of information there and deduce what you need to deduce.
Is it 528 hertz the frequency of love as well?
It's the frequency of sulfur, from what I remember. And because grass is high in sulfur, it has that frequency.
So let's say hypothetically, we have a scope that we can beam that frequency into a specific location. Let's say if somebody's using it to detect what elements are inside of a residence, could they detect, could we use that to detect, like, if they have, let's say, any illicit things or any quantities of a specific element, or even.
I don't think they're there yet.
Just picks up the most dominant signal. That's what usually gets picked up.
Like a frequency sweep, but but localized to wherever you take this little thing and beam it to.
I don't
Well,
think
whatever you're beaming at, whatever the dominant signal coming out of there. I mean, it could have 100 different signals, but whichever one is the dominant
Yeah.
one is the one you're going to read.
See, like I was about to say, I don't think tech has gotten there yet because the separation of signals is almost impossible.
You
There's
need a bunch of
signals-
filters and a bunch of different probes hooked up to the same device with different filtering.
It would take an I don't know, man. The machine would have to be huge.
Just
I think it
trip
might
signals,
be
you know.
possible, but probable because of the cost. Not yet. We're not there yet.
Technically, yes, you
10,
can
20
do that,
years.
Lulu. With a
I mean,
coil.
not us as a group, but as a society, maybe 10, 20 years. Yeah.
Well, this is called space engineering. We're engineering a space time, and so me speaking it into the universe now already planted a little seed in the future of its existence. Think of it like that.
I mean,
I'm
they
sure
use
with
inductors to do just about everything from picking up temperature to seismic readings to you name
That's
it,
true.
everything. Pressure, barometric pressure, wind, heat.
Yeah,
What else?
because I always thought like our
Sound
little
level,
uh
decibels.
route like the little routers that we have next to our TVs, the one that pick up I feel like these things scan the room, like sends like how lidar pulses,
They
and it
can't.
pings back, and they could know exactly what the constitution of any element around you is, and what
Well,
whatever it is.
I don't think they can do the elements, but there's a way of using the scanning from that very system, like your Wi-Fi, in order to create a radar in your house. They can tell how many
like
people in your house, how tall you are, your overall body shape. Yeah, but they can't tell elements yet.
They cannot. Okay.
But you're not wrong. They can do that. That's a no.
They can if they want to. They just have to create a highly tuned filter for that specific frequency that element radiates.
No, I understand what you're saying, Mike, but it's actually a program. There was a hacker that did a big thing on it and talked about it. And yeah, you can literally look at anyone's house if you have the right program. It turns your Wi-Fi into radar in a sense where your computer depicts all the different pixels and is able to decode it into a picture.
Gerald, like for example, this bottle of water, right? This specific plastic. This is cataloged somewhere. It has a specific ratios. Specific anything. Like it's manufactured, so they have all the little stuff. What if? Yeah. So what if all that that our receivers pick up that, like, because it's transmitting energy and it pings back, so it will know exactly that I'm holding this sparkling water bottle, a specific one, because each company has a specific chemistry to their products.
Yeah, but what you're talking about is spectroscopy. In other words, it has to be burned in order to find all the ingredients in that element. Thank you. I can never say the darn word right. Spectroscopy. Something like that.
Spectroscopy.
Say it wrong.
Spectroscopy.
I heard somewhere that this is along the same lines of what we're talking about. I heard somewhere that one of the former presidents who's running again used a very rare, the military used a very rare isotope in something that they sent some terrorist envelope or something like that to track the terrorists. They use like these very, very rare isotopes that are like, so rare that if you have a satellite looking for that frequency signature, you can pinpoint somebody that has, let's say, touched the envelope with the isotope on there. It's like a harmless isotope, but it's a tracking method.
But that's like an isolated signal, right? It's hard to isolate signals.
That's what I heard.
I believe
like Soleimani, for example. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
That's how they got him.
Then how do you like describe if those commercials that come up when you even think of something, all of a sudden you start seeing in your news feeds that comes up, you see commercials, pop up in your face about it. There has to be some form of algorithm that is detecting this. It doesn't make any sense in any other way.
They use chips, microchips, and algorithms to filter out all the other garbage frequencies they're not looking for and isolate the one they're looking for using filters. The chips do all that work, the programming.
Yeah, that's possible.
It's just a protocol for filtering out signals to get the one you want. It's not a unknown protocol, but they program that protocol into the computers now to do it automatically.
Lulu, to answer your question, you need to do 2 small experiments. One of them, you need to think of something by your Wi-Fi system that you wouldn't normally think about, and don't tell anyone.
I have, and it still read my mind. And it still read my mind. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm working on a theory about that very same thing right now, and I'm hoping I'm wrong.
And it's like my mind is gonna, like, how is it reading what I'm thinking? How is it reading what I'm thinking?
Yeah, I've actually
your thoughts put out waveforms like beta.
But how can they read those waveforms off the Wi-Fi?
Because they're alpha and beta waveforms. They're beta waveform. They have the beta.
Yeah, but it's a Wi-Fi signal though. How does it read?
No, I don't know. I mean,
that's what I mean, right? So,
well, they could use other signals and the disruption of those signals to identify what signal would cause that disruption, and that signal would be an alpha signal or a beta signal would cause that disruption within the general background radiation, for example. They do all this research, believe me.
I've done a series of experiments.
They can ID all kinds of interruptions because there's a background radiation around everything,
There is. But have you tried that experiment, Mike? What Lulu's talking about?
No, but I've seen controversial videos on stuff like that back in the day. On military, military equipment and satellite surveillance stuff and drone technology, and how they use the particles, the mini particles like metals that they spray, for instance, to reflect certain frequency bandwidths to get a better view of what's below.
You guys ever research something called
and things like when it's foggy out, they can't see nothing, no matter what they do.
Hey, Mike, have you ever heard of smart dust?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. There you
go. Yeah.
That whole thing they do with the planes has got more than one more than one function, but only one reason for doing it, in my opinion. And it's not to harm the population. It's to hide something up there in the stars that they don't want us to see. They create the clouds, block our vision. And everything else they do with it is just a bonus for their agendas that they already have.
I'll get back to you on your question, Lulu, because I'm working on that answer for a different reason. Because I've encountered that multiple times, and I don't like it.
I'm 100% sure that they read my mind.
I don't know about reading. I don't know about reading your mind. I don't know how they're doing it.
What did Lyndon Johnson say? He who controls the weather will control the world.
I started putting magnets in my pocket and wearing like gold wire. I weave it into my hair sometimes just to offset if they're trying to read the frequency, it will mess it up for them, So
I don't think they can read your mind, but I don't know. I've heard whispers about them being able to read the waveforms like Mike talks about.
Yeah, I heard that too.
They don't use this stuff to follow the public. They use it to track specific individuals that are.
Yeah, exactly. So how would they be using that on filtering in commercials to your internet? It doesn't make sense, right? So I'm like I said, I'll answer that question in a future.
Even
all this technology came about after 9/11. It's all in the effort of fighting old world terrorism.
Even lie detector tests, they can tell if you lie just with the muscles in your face.
Yeah, but that's with sensors connected to your chest and your body in order to do that, right? We're
Yeah.
talking something that you're not connected to. You're just sitting in your
We're
house.
we're
Think
talking about a thought.
something,
Like you
commercials
think
come up.
about something and it pops up. You know, like
Yeah.
my gosh, how does that happen? Like
And it's
not
been
not
talked
something.
about.
It's not something that you converse with any other person. You know, it's not something that you digitally like put as a digital note anywhere or emailed, or it's a thought. Like you had a thought, and you know,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden it starts popping up all over the place. It's like, how do they do that? You know, it's you know, it's too much, man. I
I
don't
don't
know.
understand it either, honestly.
And listen, if there is
maybe
no
they-
such technology, it's aliens. There's no way.
There,
There's
there might
you
be
know.
one reason to broadcast subliminal signals into the airwaves to get us to, like, whatever, an alpha wave or whatever, to get us to do things like not riot, for instance. You know, there might be reasons for them, the government or whoever, to use these things to control us from, you know, getting over upset or all at once. You know, you know that's a valid reason. You know, you don't want to riot, right?
I've heard that too, yeah.
So if they can pump out alpha waves and help everybody go to sleep, they're going to do it. Nobody's going to, you know, if there's a reason for everybody to get upset, like another Rodney King event, believe me, they're going to start pumping those whatever waves. I don't know
If
if
they're
it's alpha or
using
beta, but
if they're using frequencies to control the hearts and minds of men, it's the same thing they used to do when the pyramids were being controlled and operated.
but honestly, none of that's really necessary because Earth is already pumping out the peace wave. I mean, like crazy.
Yeah, well,
Oh, the
7.8.
human resonance.
7.8. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the one wave they have to contend with whenever they want to, you know, let's say stop the peace and create war or whatever. You know, they have to overwhelm the amplitude of the Earth's Schumann resonance to get
Yeah,
us to
you
go
can-
to war or
I'll
fight.
get into that in the future, but you can connect to it by resonating with it. When you ground out a certain way, and then your energy in your system goes through the roof. You have to have 2 grounds, though, not just one.
You know, I also heard different types of clothing also subdue your frequency. If like you wear anything with nylon, spandex, or any like you know, the best one is linen and cotton, and create like it amplifies the your inner frequency. So you know, clothing also affects it too. But linen has like 500 times as much amplification.
I'd
Cotton is
love to make it.
yeah, cotton is about 100 times. Anything else is like in the 10, 15, you know, frequency range, which is not good at all. Like it
I'd
dulls
love to
your
make a
energy.
nice suit lined with copper,
Uh-huh.
grounded out through your shoes. Right?
Anyone that's overly concerned about being manipulated by frequency from the outside, all you got to do is meditate.
Yeah.
You know, get with yourself.
Yeah.
Sit there in the room and tune
See,
in.
see, my mind works like this because if I know somebody's trying to manipulate me, you know, through like you know the mind games, I like start to think of the you know like in my mind like F you, and you know like that, like you know like messing with them the same way they're messing with me. So I intentionally start to do like think different thought processes just to you know mess with them. Like if somebody's messing with me, then you know let me mess with them back. You know,
Man,
so it's kind of hard.
in the commercial sector, especially in the United States, they're pretty damn good at manipulating people. They pretend
Yeah.
to be your friend. They get the info they want out of you, and then they just throw you away. You know, they're pretty good.
There's people
you
in
know
the
that-
scientific community right now that do that very same thing, and they get paid to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially you have the book agencies, the commercial market. It's always the same pattern. They
Yep.
pretend to be your friend. They give you some pieces of cake here and there, and you
Then
get
they
the
go, "We own you because we gave you cake."
sorry.
Did you catch that?
What did you say?
I said, then they say they own you because they gave you cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you don't take money from the government.
I don't take money from anybody. Maybe if it's a donation, that's it.
Governments are Indian givers.
That might be where Trump messed up when he gave out the Trump checks. He's probably the first president, I think, to ever give out money in his name as a president. No, that's like socialism right there. I mean, that's borderline communism.
You want to talk about socialism? Just come to Canada.
Oh yeah. I could call that guy so many names. I don't want to.
Why did he put his name on there? Why not just the government check?
Because he was the one that screwed our government.
We gave up our weapons a long time ago.
Trudeau and his dad there, like, I don't know if I get you into trouble by saying the truth about him and his family.
Didn't Biden do that by leaving all our weapons in the Afghanistan? That was Biden.
No, yeah, that was Biden. Yeah.
Canada,
Trudeau.
That's a lot of money that he left to Afghanistan for.
I think somebody. I think somebody calculated it. It was about $75 billion worth of stuff that he left and walked off.
They gave it to the Afghanis so that they could continue.
That's almost 0.1 trillion right there.
Well, I was surprised. They were able to drive vehicles. They were smart enough to drive them.
Yeah, they were being trained on them while the military was there.
You know what their excuse was? Anyway. Oh, their excuse was, it's outdated weaponry. We have but it's still weaponry. I don't care if it's outdated. It's still, usable.
It's all good if that defense equipment landed in the hands of the free-minded Afghanis, but that's not where it landed.
No.
Yeah. No. Canada's different. We don't have guns out here. And those that do have guns, well, they have magnifying glasses so far up the ass, if they fart, they'll be able to see their teeth.
Here in Texas, it's an open state. You could have as many as you want, but as long as,
That's the only thing that appealed to the States for me is everybody can, you can buy a gun on the corner, right? At the corner store kind of thing. So, I mean, you can't. I'm exaggerating, but
no, like you don't understand. Like they're everywhere. They're everywhere. Like,
they're everywhere in Canada too. But
it's so weird. We helped the Afghanis beat Russia, and then later we're over there beating Afghanis. And just still happening. And then we leave them our guns after we beat.
I just got my cue, guys. I have to bail.
We did exactly what the Russians did. We went.
We're gonna square up here in a couple minutes. Gerald, thanks a lot.
I appreciate it.
I want to shoot you an email because I want to talk with you offline about a couple of things.
For sure. Yeah. I wouldn't mind yakking to you about something I found this week too. So I've had a few breakthroughs I can't quite discuss yet until I confirm them, but I can discuss it offline. So give me an email. I appreciate you letting me come on. The podcast was awesome. Lulu, you had me thinking. Right? Like that.
Thank you.
Mike, you taught me something. Joe. And Phil, I'm looking
take it easy, bro.
Right on, guys. Ben, I know you're not there, but you're there. We'll check out your.
I'm there. I'm just eating.
You guys all have a great one.
You too, Gerald.
Bye, Gerald.
Thanks, Gerald. Yeah, we're going to square up in a couple minutes. Any last words before we call it a night?
Yeah, let's create a Mike Faraday Research Hall of Fame here for the successful experiment we've achieved so far, or will be achieving in the future.
Yeah, well, I want to get it out, and I got to do it the right way. And sometimes I have to be cryptic or secretive a bit in order to get it out in the right way, so we don't get stopped, kind of thing. So that's always. I'm cryptic. I'll throw little snippets out every now and then. So who was that?
What was that? It was a ghost.
That was my dog. That was my dog.
Lulu has a haunted house.
Yeah.
Maybe, man. Maybe. All is possible. All is possible.
All right. on that creepy note. Okay, guys. Well, okay, so yeah, next week we'll be here again Friday night for Free Energy Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern, and I hope everybody can join us again. Also, don't forget to check out Ben's channel, Benefactor, and then also check out what Philip's doing at his website at Fornix. Um, check out his software that he's been working on. He's got some pretty cool stuff there for fixing your PC. And Mike does also his YouTube channel. Check him out. He's got a lot of stuff up there. And myself at Faraday Research. Everybody have a great night. We'll see
All
Good
right,
night,
everybody.
take
everyone.
care.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, guys.
Good.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, Ben.
Take
Good
care.
night, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.